Hey, what's up you guys? So I am back, kind of. We'll see how I am able to do with sticking to uploading 2 to 3 times a week. I'm gonna try to do that starting now. Again, I kind of stopped posting because I went back to school and college was rough, and so I did not have time for anything. So now that the semester is pretty much over, I've still got a few finals that I need to take, but it's pretty much over. Aside from that, I'm gonna start trying to get back into posting and hopefully keep this up next semester. We'll see what happens, though. I'm not gonna make any promises now because this semester was just such a hot garbage fire. So anyways, that's all to say. I'm gonna try to be back. We'll see what happens. Sorry I was away for so long. I missed you guys. I also missed reading because I didn't get to read as much. And so that's what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about what I read in the months of August, September, and October. I'm also gonna go over some of the things that I watched, but I might not cover everything that I watched just because I don't really remember everything that I've watched. I just remember the ones that were kind of highlights. So let's just kick it off with the books. So going back to August, this was when Midnight Sun came out. So naturally I reread Twilight and New Moon. I meant to reread the whole series, but you know, hot dumpster fire of garbage that this semester was prevented me from really absorbing Eclipse, and so I DNF'd Eclipse. If you are unaware, I am a huge Twihard. I love Twilight. Go check out my videos where I reread Twilight and read Midnight Sun and talk about the book and the movie. I've got a lot of Twilight videos already up on this channel, even though it's a relatively new channel, so go check those out. But I definitely give Twilight 5 out of 5 stars. If you want to know more about my reading experience with it, again, I've got videos vlogging me reading Twilight, so I'm not really going to get into that one as much, but definitely 5 out of 5 stars just for the nostalgia. New Moon, same deal. I mean, those chapters where the months are just passing one page at a time, it's like the most heartbreaking moment. You know, even people who don't think Twilight is like fantastic, they think that those pages are memorable and they are something special about the book. So I love New Moon. I'm a huge Jacob fan. I liked in most of New Moon and most of Eclipse, there are certain moments where I'm like, he's a little bit much in Eclipse, but for the most part I am more team Jacob, especially in the books than in the movies, because the whole Breaking Dawn thing happens, and that's just weird, okay? We don't even need to talk about it. We just all know that it's weird, okay? He's in love with a baby. It's fine. We don't talk about it. After my reread of Twilight, I watched the Twilight movie. Oh, this movie, I have to give it like 2 out of 5 stars. It's such a bad movie watching it back. Like, I loved it at the time, but oh, the cringe factor. It's so extreme. Oh God. Bella, every single time that she sighs or anything, it just makes me think of watching the CinemaSins videos for the Twilight movies. I highly recommend checking those out if you're a fan of Twilight, because they're freaking hilarious, okay? The amount of times Bella sighs, I did not even realize how extreme it was until I watched the CinemaSins video, and now I cannot ever unsee it in the Twilight movie. But it's fine because it is what made me fall in love with so much of what I love today. So definitely a great movie. It's getting the 2nd star just for the nostalgia points. I probably would give it 1 star otherwise because it's really not great. The acting is really cringy. Anna Kendrick is probably the only one I feel like does a good job with her character. Charlie's okay too, I guess. He's not terrible, but Bella, Edward, every line, it's just cringe. It's the cringe factor. So after rewatching the Twilight movie, August 4th finally was upon us, and I read Midnight Sun, and oh buddy, I give that a 5 out of 5 stars. It's not a great book. You're not gonna like it if you don't like Twilight. I'm telling you that right now. It is very much the same story, but from a different perspective. So you get so many things in Midnight Sun that you're not expecting to get, and it's one of those moments where it's like, why am I here? Like, why? He kills a spider in her bedroom while she's asleep because he's afraid that that spider might bite her and cause her pain. I'm not joking. That is a legit scene. It happens. It's upsetting. It should upset you too because that's freaking creepy. Dude, get out of her room. She's asleep. Okay, so anyways, the stalking, way over the top. I absolutely love it. I just think that it is such a fun read because I was just cackling the entire time. I also have a video vlogging me reading Midnight Sun, so you can check that out if you want as well. I'll link it somewhere. But I had a lot of fun reading it. Again, I really don't think you're gonna like it if you don't like Twilight because it the writing style is very much the same, and overall it's just so cringy that I love it. So a few other things that I watched in August. I watched the movie Booksmart. I watched this on Hulu. It is a movie about two girls who are about to go off to college and they never really did any of the partying in high school that is typically associated with it, and so they want to have one last high school experience and do all the parties and stuff, and it is okay. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars just because I was kind of bored with it. I thought that it was really tropey. It followed very much the structure that I was expecting it to. It didn't leave me with any real lasting impressions. I thought that everything was just very cookie cutter. I also finished watching Orange is the New Black. I didn't really finish the last season as much because I was kind of bored with it at that point, but I did really enjoy those last few seasons. I highly recommend watching this series if you haven't. Do bear in mind that this is a series that you should watch if you are an adult and not if you are a child, because it does feature adults in an adult prison, and so they do adult things. This series, I think it highlights some very key issues in society, and I think that it also highlights some issues with our prison system that I wish were more discussed and were more of an issue than they are right now. I think that there are some things that this series kind of covers that are being discussed right now. In general, we really need to discuss how we handle our prison system in this country. So that's kind of my one thought on that. So after Orange is the New Black, September happened, and I didn't really read anything in September, but I did finish watching The Good Place. I watched the last season of The Good Place, and that show has really become one of my favorite shows. If you don't know what it's about, it is about a woman who dies and goes to the good place, but she doesn't really belong there. So that's kind of the premise of the show. Highly recommend it. The last season, oh gosh, I was so crying in the last episode. I thought that it was just really powerful, and it really tied up these characters' stories really well in a way that no other series that I've ever watched has been able to do. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and especially because everything has kind of changed by that point. You know, each season follows very good arcs in my opinion, and so the last season, it really just, it does feel like a conclusion. It feels like an end. But then October rolled around and I actually started reading again in October. This was when I read Throne of Glass, Heir of Fire, and Crown of Midnight. I just said those books out of order, but these are all 5-star books for me. Oh, and I don't know if I said this, but Good Place final season, 4 out of 5 stars. So these were all 5-star books for me. I filmed book talks the other day discussing them, so we'll see when I get those posted, but I did really enjoy them. If you don't know what Throne of Glass is about, it is about a competition where an assassin tries to become the king's champion. And it's overall, it's just a really great, fun series. I love the characters. I love the romances in it, and I like how they are developed and how it's not just the first person that they see that they fall for. It, you know, they have heartbreak, they have relationships that grow and die, and I think that that's something that not a lot of series show. Normally it is the first person that someone sees that they kind of fall for, and I liked that this was different in that aspect because relationships in real life do grow and die sometimes. You know, not every relationship ends in fireworks, unlike this season of The Bachelorette. Oh, I've been watching The Bachelorette too. Freaking Claire, I hate her. I hate Claire. But Claire's season is over and we're into Tayshia's season. Highly recommend watching The Bachelorette if you like that show. There's another YouTube channel, I'll link them down below, that I love their videos. It's called Bachelor Fan Take, where he kind of talks about what's happened in the episodes. So just, this is a whole video of recommendations. Didn't intend for it to be, but you know, it happens like that sometimes. So out of the 3 Sarah J. Maas books that I read, Heir of Fire is probably my favorite, just because I love everything that happens with Dorian, and I love everything that happens with Selena, and I love how separated it is. I really enjoyed it. So that's probably my favorite out of the 3 so far. I should hopefully finish the series this next month. We'll see what happens. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. I post videos sometimes on this channel. We'll see if I can stick to a schedule. Hopefully I can. I want to try to. So I will see you in my next video. Bye!